start the class. We started with unit 3 in the last class. We were seeing about smart home and what are the devices we were using in the smart home. A quick recap. So we have seen the definition of smart home as given by Oxford Dictionary and their Department of Industry. So a lot of equipments are involved in a normal home to be a smart home. So that is the concept of the smart home. We are going to provide intelligence to each of the sensors present. And by doing that, we are going to ensure that wherever we are physically present, we can remotely operate those devices. Okay? So we have seen that all these devices are connected to the internet, and that internet is going to be connected to the external internet, actual internet, where you can access these devices from the tablet or your phone. Okay, so it is called as Internet of Things. Okay, things means it is going to be the sensors which are going to be used to detect and do some action in your house. Why do we need smart homes? We have a lot of features. So these smart homes are going to offer a lot of features which conventional homes don't offer. And even they say that the resale value of these smart homes is very high because these smart devices are going to add extra value to your house. And how can you make a device smart device? One thing you have to add transceivers to it so that it can send and receive data, and you have to provide appropriate communication interface to your device like touch screen, voice command, and gesture control. And we have to make use of the enabling technologies like ICs, telecom, MEMS, or other technologies. If you incorporate into these devices, the normal the sensors or the normal devices will become smart devices. And we have seen the different types of devices. For example, smart window. This is used to control the amount of light going through the window. Smart lighting LEDs, which will automatically be regulating the amount of light depending on the presence of absence of people. Then smart thermostat, it is your inside your AC air conditioning unit where you can program it to automatically adjust the temperature. Smart refrigerator. So we have seen in the last class LG Home Chat app, which can be used to communicate with your LG refrigerator. For if you are going for if you are away from the house for 3 days, then automatically it will initiate power saving mode so that less power is consumed in the by the refrigerator. Then we have a smart bed, so it can clearly say at which position if you sleep, you can have an optimum sleeping and a good sleeping. It will measure your heart rate and breathing patterns, and it can suggest you the good sleeping profile. Okay, it can also perform massage, and it will clearly give advice on optimum fitness levels and how to improve that using the sleeping patterns. Then smart TV. So smart TV, it is just like computer. Computer with a display with the functionality as a TV. So you can browse websites using this smart TV. Can connect to social networking sites using smart TV, and you can interact with other mobile devices using smart TV. So it can also be remotely controlled with your smartphone. And nowadays, many smart TVs offer the features like voice recognition, motion recognition, and face recognition. And by using all these latest technologies, MEMS and the sensor technology, you can ensure that these devices can perform till their optimum limit. Then you have a smart lock, which will allow people or which will provide restricted access to your house. So you can remotely see who all is entering your house, and it can be programmed to give access to outsiders during a particular time. So whether the lock is on or off, you can use an LED to indicate the status of the lock, and it can even take and send photos of people who is in the front of the door to the people registered mobile numbers, and it can monitor lock or unlock activity, and if it can sense if somebody is knocking the door, alert the residents inside the house. All these are possible with the latest technology of MEMS and the sensors. Then we have the smart ovens, the smart coffee makers, vacuum cleaners, and washing machines. They can be programmed to start automatically. So it assumes that every day the routine work has to happen. So these vacuum cleaners and washing machines every day they have to start at 6 a.m. and they have to end at 7 a.m. You can program them so that you can start the programs and you can remotely control them and monitor them. So once the program is finished, it will alert the user saying the particular activity is done. Please come and supervise that. For example, the food or drink is ready, the cleaning or washing program is finished. So it will alert the user saying the activity is completed. Please come and take over. So we have seen that by implementing smart devices, the estimated 17% of growth is achieved. So when the production is going to be larger, cost is going to be less. So as the years go by, the smart homes are going to become more popular, and these devices are going to become cheaper and cheaper because of technological advances and the fabrication mechanisms. And nowadays, artificial intelligence is incorporated everywhere, and the HCI is human computer interaction. This HCI is a upcoming field, or it has been in place to a minimum extent in the smart homes. It is how you and computers interact, how humans and computers interact to get the smartness in your devices. And we have seen this overall. You see that the total cost of all these smart devices in 2018 was 12,657, and in 22 it has been projected that this would reduce to 8,446. So you can see a 35% reduction in 4 years. So approximately 35 minutes, it has become one third. So it has become one third. So it is going to be beneficial for everyone. Nowadays, the awareness of smart homes is also going to be is increasing day by day, and with technology going to give you more support and more features, that way more and more people will start buying these smart homes, incorporating these smart devices. See, not all devices are required for your house. You can choose, you can pick and choose which devices are required for your house, and accordingly you can install them and keep them programmed. So what is how does the smart device add value to your house? First one is it's simple to use. So need not know the technical issues behind the sensors. You will have a user interface and you will be communicating the smart device in a very simplest way. So is it easy and intuitive to use? Yes. It's going to be very, very simple. Anything and everything will be communicated to you through a message or a chat or WhatsApp ping, like that. The things are becoming very simple nowadays. Convenience, it will add definitely value to your house. For example, we have robo cleaners. So it will be looking like a circular disc, and once you switch on the robo, it will go around your house and pick up all the dust which is lying on the floor. So that is going to add value. You need not go and clean your house daily. Just run this robo daily for 1 hour. It will clean your house for car. No, all the dust will be captured, and you can collect all the dust in a safe place inside the robo, and you can discard the waste once the robo has finished its task. Okay. So it is going to add convenience to your life. Efficiency and reliability, yes. And the information transmitted over by these sensors over the network is going to be completely reliable. Nobody can hack it and get the data. It is going to be completely reliable and efficient. So the information will be passed on immediately. So if some eventuality is happening, some fire has happened in your house, means the sensor will detect the fire and immediately send you the information to your mobile phone, or a call will be made. So you can rely upon the performance of the sensors. And efficiency is very good. So as long as things are good, the sensors will work fine. In case of any wear and tear of the sensor, we need to replace the sensor. Customizability, yes, they are very customized, and you can actually say your need, and you can get your sensor fabricated. So it is not same sensor for everyone. You can actually customize the behavior of the sensor according to your needs, according to your needs, and you can uh, say what type of behavior you want from the sensors. Next one, sustainability. Sustainability, they will provide a long-term value. As I told you, the minimum 20 to 25 years, these sensors will work and they will not become obsolete immediately. So after 25 years also, the lifetime is guaranteed. But depends on the device and other, what is the frequency of use of the device. So these things will determine how long your sensors are going to work. Okay, so these are the ways in which the smart devices are going to add value to your house. The added value can come from hardware. So For example, what processor you are going to use, what sensors you are going to use, how you are going to display the information to the user. That is all going to be hardware. Okay, processor, you need not use a very high-end processor because the application is very, very light. It requires a medium processor that is going to be enough so that it will not be very costly. And software, definitely which programming language you are going to use, and accordingly you have to embed artificial intelligence into your system. And you can use a combination of hardware and software for better things. Okay, the displays can be LED display, or you can have a voice speaker to spell out the output, or you can have a monitor to display, or you can have an LCD TV to display. So anything you can pick. It all depends on what component you pick, and the corresponding price will be added. So you can customize what is your requirement, and accordingly you can get the products from the market. So if the smart device requires little effort to attain the benefit from the smart features, need of human interaction. Definitely, you need human interaction, and then these smart devices can be actually called as smart devices. If a device is alerting saying that a fire is caught in your house, definitely you need to go intervene. You need to go and see what action can be done. Smart devices can only assist you in passing the information. So accordingly, what remedial action you have to take, that has to be done from the human side. It will assist you in everyday essential work and provide additional value. Certain things monotonously these devices can do daily. You need not worry about it, and you need not spend time for these. These devices can do that on daily for you at a given precise fixed time. It will provide greater added value. It requires high level of automation and advanced software. So to make it even more autonomous, sensors to be even more autonomous, if you need to go for advanced software, and you have to have advanced processors to ensure that the speed is very good and they act very quickly, and they provide a greater value to our daily day-to-day activities. See here, they have given a list of smart devices and what level of human interaction is required and what value add they are providing and what is the improvement in cost. For example, smart window you see, you need not have any human interaction here. Very low human interaction means depending on the temperature, they will be either lowering or increasing the amount of light entering the house. Okay, it is value adding. So it is going to make your temperature inside the house less. So it is going to be definitely a value add. Improvement in cost is going to be moderate. So these smart windows do not produce a significant improvement in cost. The improvement in cost is going to be moderate. Next one, smart lighting. Assume 10 LED units you are going to use. Human interaction is very, very less. You need not go to each LED and say burn. It will be automatically, the LED will be glowing based on the amount of people inside the house or depend on the human presence. Okay, depend on the human presence. And the value add is essential because the lighting is very crucial for the house. And the improvement in cost, you can significantly have a high improvement in cost if you are going to have more devices. Smart thermostat, same way, the interaction is low, but it is essential because it will control the temperature of the house in being inside an air conditioner. Improvement in cost is going to be very, very high. Next one, smart refrigerator. You need to have a high level of interaction. Yes, because whenever you are going to give some input, the refrigerator will take it seriously and work upon it. So high level of human interaction is required. It definitely produce a value added because it is going to, some refrigerators even suggest that some fruits inside the refrigerator has expired. With so much of value add is coming nowadays, definitely the human interaction required is very high, and it is going to provide a value add to the smart refrigerator. And improvement in cost is going to be moderate. Next one is smart bed. For smart bed, the human interaction is low because it is going to advise you the sleeping profile and other parameters. So you don't interact with the smart bed that much. It is going to provide a value add because it is going to give you the required amount of comfortness. Improvement in cost is going to be very high. Smart TV, the interaction required is high. Yes, using a Google Voice Assistant, you can say something and the TV will display whatever you have said, and it provides a value add. Cost saving is going to be high. All these data they have collected based on what all systems are available currently in the market, and depending on that, they have summarized the details. Okay, smart lock. The interaction level is medium because it will take care of the security. Value add is essential, very, very essential because it is going to be a security system for your house. Improvement cost is going to be high. Smart oven, the interaction level is medium, but it is going to add value add to your task. Once you cook item and once the item is completely cooked, it will alert you say the item is ready. And the improvement in cost is going to be moderate. Smart coffee or tea maker, again medium, value adding, moderate. It is same as your smart oven. Smart vacuum cleaner, the interaction is least required, but it is very essential because it will help you in making it, it will help you in keeping your house very, very clean. And the improvement in cost is going to be high. Next one, smart washing machines. The interaction required is medium and the value add, yes, it provides a value add and the improvement in cost is going to be high. So they have given a clear summary of what all the smart devices you have and what is the level of interaction you have and what is the value add or essential task. Value add means apart from daily activity, they are going to add value. Essential means yeah, it is required compulsory. Improvement in cost. So these devices are maximum, they have moderate or high. They don't provide so much improvement in cost. Future of smart TVs and computers, you know, everybody is having a smart TV in your house nowadays. So as smart TVs are becoming more powerful and add great freedom to what they do, the gap between smart TVs and computers is reduced. So it is a smart TV is more or less a computer. Just you have the big display for viewing the channels. So it has been used. The smart TVs have been used of late as a computer. So whatever computers, in case if your computer monitor display is not working, you can connect your CPU to your smart TV and start working. You can see the display there. So it is likely that in the future there will be no distinction between TVs and computers. So it will become an all-purpose device where you can use it as a TV when you are required and you can use it as a computer when you are required. There is no distinction between a separate device for TV and a separate device for computer. So it is all going to become a single entity as in another 5 years time. So our house will be filled with these displays and you have to interconnect them and you can view or do anything you want to do. So it will, even as a single smart TV, it will have all the process also inside. So you just need to log in and you just need to start working. That's all. The features which are most likely to diffuse first across all smart devices. So what they are saying is what are the features which are uh, primarily required for the smart devices. First one is remotely monitor and control. This is a very essential feature because we want our house to be safe and secure. So even if we are traveling, we will ensure that using the connectivity what we have the smart devices, we can control and monitor the house anywhere from our convenience. So all smart devices are connected with you always. You can have a remote monitoring and controlling feature wherever you go. Even you go away from India, you will have the required amount of connectivity with you to all the smart devices. Next one, the very, very important thing, energy saving and power saving features. So smart devices definitely over a period of time, they will use less energy compared to non-smart device. As I told you, conventional fixed tube lights, they will be emitting constant power all throughout the time. So how much people are there, we don't bother. The same amount of power is being wasted. But replacing these tube lights with smart LEDs in our house, so if one person is there, it will emit the required brightness for only one person. If the number of persons are increasing dynamically, it will gradually increase the brightness of a particular area depending on the people using motion sensors or any other technology. So definitely you can see that there is a variable power usage. So it is not going to be constantly the maximum amount of brightness they are going to emit always. No, I am going to emit the brightness depending on the number of people. So definitely, if you take the average power, it will be very, very less for smart devices. It will be very, very large for non-smart device. That is what they are saying here. So reduce the overall energy consumption of your house. So your electricity bill will become less. So the devices which are going to particularly play a role in energy efficiency are smart windows, thermostats, and lighting. So these three devices are going to play an important role in the energy efficiency of your house. Next one is automation. Automation, what all works, what you will do, it is being automated by the system. For example, completely assisting you in day-to-day activities of your house. For example, smart windows, thermostats, lighting, vacuum cleaner. All these devices are going to be completely automated, and you need not have any interaction with them for their assist. Your input is not required for their functionality. They will be default functioning depending on what is programmed for them. Status updates, so logs and send information about the status to user. For example, a smart bed, the sleeping profile is being sent. Logs, very, very important. When is the home locked and when is the home lock is open. Household appliances. So every whatever information it is being sent, it is being logged and sent to the user. So the communication channel is completely built between the sensors and the user. Market trend for smart devices. So many smaller startups emerge. So many people are nowadays focusing on these smart devices for smart homes. So either you can use an open source or sharing community to develop your devices. So requires extensive assembly or programming or software installation. So you have to have a complete design. So what device I am going to use, what is the programming I am going to do, what smartness I am going to introduce to the device, and how to test that and bring into reality. The more customizable systems and freedom. So a lot of players are now available who are exclusively working on the smart devices. So appealing to tech savvy hobbyists, do it yourself. Same way DIY it yourself mentality. So you can even do yourself. You can buy sensors. You can incorporate smartness into that, and you can do that yourself and implement that into your house. You need not wait for a company to do that for you. You know many DIY YouTube channels are available, so you can look at it. You can see what they are doing to smart and add smartness to that, and you can work accordingly. You can do it by yourself. Build a own build and set up your own customized smart home. That is also possible. You need not be an engineer or a technician to do that. You just need to have the interest and idea to do that. You can develop and customize your own smart homes. Causes even more systems to emerge. So whatever smart things what we have shown here are currently available what's okay. But there can be even some more smart devices which can be invented and that can be put into use in the smart homes. That can also be done. So if you want to have an open source software, then what you can do. So do it yourself is going to be a completely open source. So you have a credit card size single board computer. Okay, so it will be the size of credit card only. So initial intention is to promote the teaching of basic computer science in school. So that is called as a Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is a processor. So it will be, see here, it is only on the size of a credit card. So it will have the basic minimum functionalities and interfaces which you can do. It can be used as a can be used as a controller for smart devices. It can wirelessly connect with sensors, motors, servers, and etc. Maybe a little bit zoom it, and you can see what all functions this Raspberry Pi is going to have. It is a processor. Okay. See here in the Raspberry. Now see here, you have a connection to TV. You can connect your Raspberry Pi to TV and you can display the information. You have a JTAG for debugging and testing. Okay, and you have an USB peripheral interface for connecting your keyboard or mouse or USB hub. Or from one USB to connect to USB hub, and you can connect all other devices. You have an Ethernet connectivity option. Then you see you have an HDMI connectivity from which you can convert HDMI to DVI and you can connect your TV or monitor. And you have an option to using the CSI connector you can add a camera. That is possible. You can have an LCD display, which is possible. You can have an SD card reader, which is possible. You can have a micro USB power 5-volt from mains. You can have a Linux OS using Fedora. If you have a Linux OS, it is operating based on Linux OS, and you can connect a general purpose input output to your processor. So see how advanced the processor is, but it is customized. All these features are available. You can connect them and use it. See, it is not that you have to use all the features. You can use whatever features you like, you want to in your application. Sometimes you just want your application to read and display something, so you can use a TV or a display here, and you can display or LCD display to display something. Sometimes you want to capture the images of people, you can use only camera. So it is not like all the features have to be used, but they say that the Raspberry Pi is a very common processor which will have all the basic interface required for you to develop a application. Okay. I'm not going in depth into Raspberry Pi. I'm just saying, I'm just discussing with you what all features your Raspberry Pi is going to possess. First one is Raspberry Pi. Second one is Wonderbar. Wonderbar. So it is a bundle including a central controller and 6 sensors. So you have a controller and you have 6 sensors to operate the controllers. So it can have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connection. Wi-Fi is for a long distance communication and communicating over the internet, and Bluetooth is for your small distance communication within your house. So Bluetooth can communicate between 10 to 100 meters theoretically, but practically you cannot achieve 100 meters in Bluetooth. Maximum you can achieve up to 50 meters in Bluetooth. This Wonderbird is also a processor which can be easily programmed to do anything you want. Additional sensors, what you can add, are going to be light sensor for detecting the brightness, proximity, if anybody, any human presence is there nearby the sensor, humidity, you know how much percentage humidity we have in daytime and nighttime, what is the temperature of the surroundings, what is the accelerometer, so what is the accelerometer gyroscope in for detecting the motion, presence of motion, an infrared transmitter to measure the temperature, or to see if anybody is available at the farther end. So this is another open source software, Wonderbird, which is having as a controller with 6 sensors. With 6 sensors. First one, what you have seen is Raspberry Pi. The second one is Wonderbird. Next one is Arduino. Very, very commonly used processor in all your UG and PG projects. They are going to use it. So it is a single board computer. Either it is a pre-assembled or disaggregated, which means that so either you can have an assembled version, or you can get all the modules and you can assemble it. Either it is assembled completely by the company, or you can get all the different modules and you can assemble it. It can be connected with a wide range of sensors, motors, and other actuators to sense and control the environment. So it is also as like a Raspberry Pi. It is also going to be a very easy to use processor. It is also you can see the diagram. You have a lot of interface. The whatever interface we have seen with Raspberry Pi, you can and those things are available here also. So you have here they have shown two versions: Arduino Uno and Arduino Uno. UNO is one type and YUN is one type. These two are different configuration of process used for different types of application. So you can control the lighting, screen, and basically anything that you plug into a wall socket. Anything and everything can be controlled easily by using this Arduino processor. Hundreds of clone and innovation freely available to download. So there are many softwares available to program this Arduino so that you can customize it for even more that can be done. And we have seen in do it yourself and open source or controllers. So 3 controllers popularly used. What we have seen is first one is Raspberry Pi, second one is Wonderbird, third one is Arduino. You see what all the open source sensors available. Without these sensors sending the information, the process will not have any work, right? Now we are going to see what are the sensors available for the as an open source, which you can get readily from the market and connect with your microcontroller and start your programming. The wide array of sensors are available for these open source systems. So see here, temperature sensor, gyroscope, all sensors is used to measure the Hall effect. Okay, thermistors, tilt sensors, thermistors, they are going to increase based on they will work based on temperature. Okay, tilt sensors will measure if anything is tilted. For example, if In mostly when you are driving automobiles, the still sensors will detect accidents. Touch sensors, joysticks are input devices. Okay, displays are output devices. Static color identification sensors to identify R, G, and B. So that if you have if you show red color, if you light the sensor with red color, it will identify red color. It will accordingly intimate the particular user. Heart rate sensor, buzzers, vibrating sensors, gas sensors. Gas sensors are used to detect the leakage of gas or presence or absence of any poisonous gas also can be done. Ethanol servers, photosensitive sensors. So depending on light, these sensors will change. Ultrasound sensor will detect obstacles, soil moisture sensors in agriculture, and LEDs for providing the lightings. And you can see all these small chips are going to be the sensors what is stored. So it is, can say it is just 3 centimeters each sensor. Just you have to interface these sensors with your Arduino or Raspberry Pi or the Wonderbar controller, and you have to write the program on if this, what value you are going to get from sensor and what action you are going to take. Just a simple if else loop if you write, you can easily program these sensors. Okay? And because of all these sensors available as open source system, it is your increased freedom to customize your own smart home. You need not buy any smart home package from anybody. You can develop your own smart home and you can customize your smart home using all these devices. So sometimes some features will not be available in the current smart home package also, but you can improvise that and you can add that as a value add into your house. The smart home packages come with the default functions only, but the special functions means they will not have it. What they are saying is these special functions, with the help of these sensors, you can create and you can design those special functions. Energy markets where smart devices will have great impact on society. So we are seeing where all these smart devices will impact the society in a greater way. First, in energy efficiency, energy, there is always a huge consumption of energy in our country, especially population is very, very high. So we have to ensure that whatever process we undergo, they have to optimize the energy consumption or lower the energy consumption. So if you take it that way, these smart devices can definitely help you with the energy consumption. They will lower your energy consumption because these devices will act only when it is required. When nobody is there in the room, the lights need not be on, the fan need not be on. So even if you forget to turn off the fan, these smart devices will turn off the fan automatically. So they will reduce the energy efficiency, they will reduce energy consumption, leading to energy efficiencies. The energy efficiency is definitely a great impact is done by these sensors on energy efficiency. Next one, healthcare. Smart devices definitely they can improve the life quality of elderly patients in your house. So you have elderly patients where the vital parameters of these patients have to be monitored very frequently. Every 2 months, every 3 months, they have to be monitored. These sensors will take care of a periodic review of what is the parameters of the patient. We can monitor them remotely from the house. Automate certain tasks every day which you cannot do, which it is manually difficult to do or you struggle to perform themselves. So these sensors can do them with ease. Reduce the need for personal assistance. In case of any emergency, you can have a buzzer. You can keep a switch, and these persons, if they press the switch, the buzzer will go. You can any manual assistance is required. You can move it. Otherwise, these sensors will take care of periodically monitoring the vital parameters of any patient to whom they are fixed. So another thing, collect data from smart devices throughout the house. So whatever smart devices you are going to have in your house, you can collect the data from them and you can take some action based on the data. The embedded healthcare systems can integrate sensors, microprocessors into appliances, furniture, and clothing. You can interface any sensor with microprocessor, and you will have all the data. With the data, what action you are going to take, that depends on your smartness. The data is stored in database and it can be sent to physicians for monitoring. So I told you, right, example of old age people. If you want to periodically send the data to the doctor, you can, if in case the network is failing, that means the data cannot be sent to the doctor. So in that case, what happens? You can store the data in the database and you can send the database to the doctor for monitoring in case of a network failure. Otherwise, they will be periodically sending the data of all these patients to the doctor for monitoring. So see here, smart healthcare for the elderly people. So first one electric car you have it for property sensor detect entry and exit. So you can fit sensors to check whether you are authorized person to enter and exit the house. First thing. Then a robot pet. So it is a robot which will be assisting you in day-to-day activity. Pathway sensors will light the way when walking. When you walk, these the LED sensors will be automatically going. Otherwise, they will be off. Smart electricity, smart meter. So this is a smart meter which will automatically transmit the electricity readings to the EB office. Then you see smooth gas and flooding alarms. So all these sensors are fitted here. Automatic shower and toilet, electronic taps and non-slip surface. This is inside your restrooms. Connected television and providing healthcare and well-being advice and video conferencing with health coach professionals. As I told you, this TV is not a normal TV; it is a smart TV. The remote monitoring of blood sugar, blood pressure, and heart rate for elderly people and transmitting them network to the doctors. Network to computers to connect your friends and family with internet. So this TV is also a computer to network with your relatives. Electric door sensor to automatically authorized access or unauthorized access. Security sensors will have electronic locks. Sensors to detect motion and falls. That is also there. Floor cleaning robot. I told you you have a logo for cleaning the floor. Gardening sensors for automated watering. So daily, in the particular time, you have to switch on the water sensor. So they will be turned on automatically for a specific time. Windows and blinds open with touch sensors. So you can touch them and open. Automated ovens, dishwashers, and fridge, which is there inside your kitchen. Incontinence sensor in bed, automated inclination and height. So this is going to cover you the required inclination and height for optimum sleeping conditions. Light and lamp activation that is done depending on the presence or absence of human. Automated mediation reminder. And finally, temperature sensors for automatic climate control. So this is the complete sensors which you can have inside your house for providing a smart healthcare for the elderly people. It's only a gist of what I told you. You can add any more sensors or you can remove anything what is not required for you. So definitely you can customize what is required for you. Smart energy consumption. What is a smart grid? So enhance electricity distribution network that connects the electrical providers, power delivery systems, consumers of wireless communication and network technology associated with software. The smart grid means how we are going to uh, connect with all everybody from the electricity board providers, then your sensors, your internet wireless communication, your software, everything. How we are going to integrate the power to everybody. That is going to be called as a smart grid. Grid, you know, it is the place where you distribute power. That also we are going to introduce smartness into that. It is called as a smart grid. The features of a smart grid you see demand monitoring and response, distributed generation management. Generation means you can generate power by solar energy technique. Okay, electrical and thermal storage management, transmission management. How much I'm going to send, how much I'm going to receive. Everything is completely maintained in the smart grid. Power outage. In case of power outage, how are you going to alert the people and what mechanism you follow to restore the power outage. Power quality management. What is the power quality of power you receive, whether you receive a constant 230 volt 50 hertz or reduction in voltage. Even if you receive that, what is the remedy you're going to do? Distribution automation. So you are going to do everything in automized way. To connect energy harvesting systems to serve as a backup is the source grid. fails. Definitely, you will have a backup in the form of battery. So if your primary grid is going to fail, how am I going to ensure that the backup is going to supply power to my house? This is the function of your smart grid. The smart grid for smart homes. So see here, you have from the main power, you take wire and you give it to the power systems inside your house. From there, you have to use it for different things. Internet, your efficient building system, renewable. You can have a wind turbine. You can have a solar energy. You can have a electric car. So you are going to you generate and store power from these two in a battery, and depending on any eventuality, the power from this is going to power light your entire house. And whatever power you are receiving, whatever power you are generating, whatever power you are spending, everything is stored in the database. You can have a look at the database for the readings. Major challenges for smart home. There is no standardization of protocols what you must use for transmission, collection, processing, and storage. So this may result in your apps becoming very complex. So customers they have always the issue about the privacy of your data that also has to be dealt with properly. One thing, standard softwares are not available. Anybody can use any software. And second one is the security issue. And everything is working on IoT, Internet of Things. So you are putting all information into a single network where any device can interact with any other device in a virtual way. The emergence of control systems. So you have something called as smart integrators, so which can connect with all your smart devices, and all smart devices can send data to this integrator, and it can control the behavior of these devices on your behalf. So it is called a smart integrator. You see, a smart integrator is integrating your LED, it is integrating your heater, it is integrating your TV, it is integrating your speaker. So it is going to remotely monitor control. It will take care of controlling all the things, and you will have an app to control all the. So finally, standardization and IoT. You have standalone devices, then you have connected uh, devices, then you have the integrated smartphone. Finally, you have. So this is the end user. You will have your devices, and finally, you will have a network inside your house that is connected to an intermediate network that is connected to your final internet. Okay, so it is going to be a collective thing of everything. These are the references considered for this work. It is a very interesting topic, smart homes, what see the smart windows, everything, the reference is given. You can maybe, if you're really interested, you can go to these references and learn more about the smart devices which can be used for your house. Okay. That reference links are given to you.